From the ashes I will rise.
I'll never forget it. I was 9 years old, sitting at our dining room table, trying so hard to study. Tears streamed down my face because I just couldn't get the English pronunciation right. My grandmother looked over at me, and her words hit me like a ton of bricks. She said, "If you give up now, you give up your dreams. Your choice. Keep at it or let go forever." That was it. That was the moment my journey truly began. I come from a proud Mexican family, and even though I was born in the United States, English felt like a foreign language to me. My family didn't speak much English, so they couldn't help with my homework. It was just me, the books, and a whole lot of frustration. But that day, hearing my grandmother's words, I made a choice. I decided to study until I got it. I would practice, even if I sounded silly, even if other kids laughed at me. I knew, deep down, that education was my only ticket to a different life. I wasn't going to be just a housewife, I was going to be a businesswoman. That was my dream. Slowly but surely, things started to change. In elementary school, I started to excel. My English improved so much that by the time I reached high school, I was placed in advanced placement classes. I was so dedicated that I even graduated a year early, taking summer school classes not because I had to, but because I wanted to get ahead. I hustled for scholarships and managed to get several to attend the new local university that had just opened up. I started college, but life, as it often does, had other plans. I took a detour from my education. Priorities shifted, and I made other choices. But even during that time away, that core belief never left me: education was the only way to truly get ahead. So, I decided to go back. It was tough. I had to learn how to study all over again, but I was absolutely determined to get a degree. I started at the local community college, just wanting to get my bachelor's. A few years later, I enrolled in a 4-year university, majoring in business administration with a minor in Spanish. And that's when everything changed. When I took my first Spanish literature classes, I didn't just like them, I fell in love. I'd always been a decent writer, especially with Spanish poetry, but this felt different. This was my passion. So I made a bold move. I decided to change my major to Spanish, with the goal of becoming a teacher. I still remember the look on my advisor's face. He asked, "Are you sure? You're giving up the chance to make more money in business." But for me, it was never about the money. It was about passion. It was about doing something I was good at and something I truly loved. One professor, in particular, saw that passion in me and really inspired me to keep going. Because of his encouragement, I decided to pursue my master's degree. Graduate school was a whole new level of challenge. The academic writing, the research, the sheer volume of reading, it was overwhelming at first. But once I got the hang of the required format and style, it all started to click. I spent countless nights reading, writing, and studying. I also got a position as a teaching assistant, which meant I was teaching while still being a student. I learned that teaching is not easy, but it confirmed that this was my dream. I wanted to teach either at a high school or at the college level. All that hard work paid off. I graduated with a high pass on my comprehensive exams, something my professor told me didn't happen very often. I have to tell you, that exam week was one of the hardest of my life. It was a 3-part exam, with 1 part each day. I barely slept. I hardly ate. I would just wake up, study frantically, and go take the test. The more I studied, the more I felt like I knew nothing. It was complete brain overload. I was so stressed that I broke down and cried twice before going in to take the exam. When it was finally over, I went home and slept for an entire day. I only woke up when an email notification pinged. It said I had passed. I thought I'd be jumping for joy, but honestly, I was just exhausted. The feeling wasn't excitement, it was pure relief, like a massive weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Once I recovered, I could finally enjoy my success. A few years have passed since then, and guess what? I'm back in school again. I've enrolled in another graduate program, this time to pursue a doctorate in educational leadership. It's a reminder that it's never too late to keep learning and growing. People say it all the time, but it's so true. Education is the one thing that nobody can ever take away from you. There's a poem I wrote for myself, a kind of mantra: from the ashes I will rise. You will not crumble me. I will not let you. From the ashes I will rise. I am unstoppable. I have fallen many times, both before that moment at the dining table and many times after. But I always get back up. I keep going, because perseverance is what turns dreams into reality. The road to your destination might be long and winding, but as long as you keep moving forward, you will get there. And listen, if something doesn't work, you just try again a different way. Sometimes, failures and closed doors are actually blessings in disguise. They are lessons. Every single situation is an opportunity to learn. You can be your own best friend or your own worst enemy, the choice is yours. There will be times when things are out of your control, when a final decision rests in someone else's hands. But you do what you can. You give it your absolute all. And it is okay to cry. It's okay to scream and let out your frustration, as long as you do it in a way that helps you move forward. If you try and you still fail, you get up again, even if it means reinventing yourself. Life is all about being reborn from the ashes of your failures. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd subscribe for more.